Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Yes, Honorable Nitiwul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this bill. Mr. Speaker, I want to first go to page 3 of the report and look at the object of the bill. Mr. Speaker, any analysis of this bill, that's where you will start from, the object of the bill. If I were to take the bill itself, I would have gone to look at the memorandum of the bill. But once I'm not using the bill, I'll go to the object of the bill and look at it. And, Mr. Speaker, the government says that the bill is seeking to provide matters relating to the National Security Council and to establish regional and security councils and district councils, as well as to specify some of the state agencies responsible for coordinating, implementing government policies, and go on. But, Mr. Speaker, the government then goes to page 2 to tell us exactly the reason why they are bringing this bill, and that the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act 1996 at 526 was in existence for well over 24 years, and it was just repealed 5 years ago by a new act 1030. In fact, they put it 4 years ago. And that the policy direction of the government is to provide, and he said that there's a need for enactment to reflect the current policy direction of the government. Mr. Speaker, I don't think this House should allow governments to be changing security acts because they are in government. I don't know what I'm making sense, but I don't think so. Mr. Speaker, there must be the reason, quite reason why you are changing the security architecture, but not because of you. Are you saying that in 4 years, when you are no more in government, the new government will then come and bring another bill? Is that what we want to be doing? I don't think so. Maybe there may be other better reasons, but you use this as the principal reason why you are reenacting this bill. I think it's wrong. I'll continue with that. I'll come to that. Mr. Speaker, then more importantly,
Honorable Nitiwul, is there anything in the bill or in the report that suggests that the change is as a result of change in government?
Mr. Speaker, the Security and Intelligence Act 1996 at 526 was in existence for well over 20 years before it was repealed by the Security and Intelligence Act 2020 at 1030. 4 years after the operationalization of the act. There is a need, I want you to listen, Mr. Speaker, there is a need for reenactment to reflect the current policy direction of the government.
Yes.
That's what the government is saying.
Yes.
That for them, they are repealing this act because they have a new direction and they want us to follow that direction.
Yes, I wouldn't have that particular problem, but you are saying because there is a change.
Of course. The only reason, Mr. Speaker, the only reason why the government is saying this is because there's a new government. They say it is their direction. So I'm asking, if in 4 years, and it will happen, you are no more in power, we were expecting the new government to also bring a new act to reflect their direction. Is that what we are saying? Mr. Speaker, I am saying that they say the bill envisages the National Security Council, chaired by the President, will work directly with the Office of National Security Coordinator and the Director General of the Intelligence DAT. And more importantly, the policy direction of the government, and that's the principal reason. The policy direction of the government is to provide for a security architecture where the National Security Coordinator coordinates the activities of the security and intelligence agencies in the country. Mr. Speaker, that is already the practice. In fact, even in the old bill under Jerry Rawlings, that was the practice. Under this current bill, that is the practice. So you cannot say, Mr. Speaker, that the policy direction for which we are changing the bill is because you want the National Security Coordinator to coordinate the activities. It's already, that is what is being done. Mr. Speaker, the framers of our Constitution, and let me be very clear, the framers of our Constitution were very, very clear, that there shall be an office of a National Security Coordinator to coordinate the activities of the security agencies. So every time, whether it's a Wednesday, it's a Tuesday, they meet in a JCR to coordinate the activities, Mr. Speaker, and that has always been the practice. That has always been the practice. Mr. Speaker, what is your time? You sit down. So, Mr. Speaker, they convey meetings in our time every Wednesday.
Hold it. I recognize Honorable Ayariga.
Ordinarily, I will not interrupt debate. But you made a statement that it is provided for in the Constitution. No. You said it's provided for in the Constitution that there shall be a National Security Coordinator who shall coordinate the activities. And I just want to correct that there's no office of coordinator in the Constitution. There's a secretary to the council. There's a secretary, but not a coordinator.
There has always been an office of the National Security Coordinator. His duty has always been to coordinate the activities of the security agencies. The NIB, in those days, the BNI, now NIB, right? Mr. Speaker, the research, which works directly under the Minister for Foreign Affairs, because the NIB is the internal one, research is external, and Mr. Speaker, and also they liaise with the defense intelligence and the police intelligence. In our time, every Wednesday, the heads of this institution will meet with the National Security Coordinator, they'll coordinate the activities, and the National Security Coordinator will go and brief the President on all that is happening. And all the information on daily basis are sent to the coordinator. So the object for which we are changing this bill has already catered for in the two previous bills. So I don't know why you are doing that. Two, you should not, let me advise, you should not and you should never make the office of the National Security Coordinator an agency. And if the Interior Minister is listening, please, you will realize that in practice, you will want the accounts of the National Security Coordinator not to be audited. If you make it an agency, you will have difficulty raising funds when there's problem in any part of the country. Because as Minister for Defense, I did not have interest. I didn't have resources lying down. I couldn't. And there was no way I could have any resources lying down. The only place, Honorable Minister, was to rely on the Office of National Security Coordinator to immediately raise funds within seconds for the soldiers to move. And so it will be dangerous for this nation to make that office an agency and say that Parliament shall audit its accounts just like what they are doing to others. I think it's a misplaced priority. If you do that, you will suffer. Take it from me. You will have difficulty because when you need your soldiers to move in 30 minutes to call an instance, you won't have resources. When you have fuel finish in Bemakam, Mr. Speaker, and you will need fuel instantly, you won't have resources. When the soldiers are in Boku, they are in Bimbla, they are in Zibila, they are in Wa, and the ration runs out, and you need resources to be able to immediately send money to them, you have difficulty. You will need the National Security Office to stay as it is, to provide quick, adequate resources. Otherwise, you're going to have problems, Mr. Speaker. That has always been the practice, and it's good practice. I don't know why you want to change it. If you do, Mr. Speaker, trust me, after 1 year, we will change it. If we do, just within 1 year of practice, we will change it. It should never be an agency. Why should it be? It should be directly under the President. It should serve the National Security Council, as it's currently doing, and he should report directly to the President. Don't tie the President's hands. Don't. And I think that this bill, we should re-look at it. I don't think there's a need for a new bill. I don't think. If the President has a problem of appointing a minister, He should not appoint the minister as he has done. There's no need. If the president thinks that he won't appoint the minister, that is his prerogative. He should appoint the minister. But to bring a new bill and change a lot of things that would rather be to the detriment of our security architecture, I think is not good. Because when I take this and I go through the clauses one by one, and you go through these clauses and you change them, in 2 years you come back here and change most of them again. Because in practice, you are going to face problems. If you don't have a finance minister who understands security, and you change this, you will have problems. Atu may not always be there. Maybe he understands, maybe he doesn't understand. But I can tell you that you will face problems. So, Mr. Speaker, let's look at this. We are doing some of these things for the nation. We are not doing it because NDC is in power or MPP is in power. We are doing it because it is the best practice. I don't know why anybody will want to do what they intend to do, unless I'm not understanding what the bill itself is seeking to do. But if you do that, you have problems. Mr. Speaker, the president is right to say that he will choose a minister who will oversee the operations of national security. That has always been the case. Until recently, when a ministry was created out of it. So even with that, some people will still choose a minister just to oversee, like they have chosen Magufuli Mutaka to oversee it. It's normal. I don't think that we should be taking the bill, ripping it apart after 4 years, and bringing in something that will give us problems. Mr. Speaker, let me go back to the point I made. Don't make the Office of National Security Coordinator an agency that will report to a minister.
Honorable former minister, you are sounding repetitive, so
Thank
conclude.
you. But I'm just saying that for emphasis, let me repeat, don't make it like that. It will create problems for you. It will create problems for the sitting president. It will create problems for the smooth running of the security agencies. It will create problems for us. Because remember, security is a daily routine. It runs every day and changes very quickly. The face of security changes very quickly. And you need resources, quick resources every time. So if we are not careful and we go the way we are going, Mr. Speaker, we'll have problems. Maybe during the clause by clause itself, we may all have to look at it and we know it properly and advise the president. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I tell you, on the surface of it, we may like it. But if you ask security experts, they will tell you that if we do some of the things we want to do, Mr. Speaker, we'll come back in 2 years' time to change it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member, you have the floor. I'll come to you after that.
That we balance oversight with prudence when it comes to operations. Honorable Minister, that in my view is also missing. Mr. Speaker, let us look at Article 21, 23, conjointly with 18. Mr. Speaker, 23 and 21 are very, very fundamental. We are dealing with issues of administrative justice. How sure are we that this bill will not give the security agencies that continued unfettered right to be using ex parte applications in the name of national security to continue to abuse the rights of citizens, especially those who do not have the means to employ lawyers to defend them? Mr. Speaker, many of our citizens are poor and cannot afford legal representation. For these citizens, they must be in our contemplation at an important juncture like this whilst we are enacting this law. If we don't bring clarity in this, Mr. Speaker, we'll be creating problem for the many who may not have the means to get high-class legal representation. And what happens to them? They will go to the BNI and then they will be told that, oh, you write this statement and just have your bill. They will write the next moment, they go to court and they tell them that, my lord, he said he admitted to the offense and he's guilty as pleaded. He doesn't have a lawyer. The next moment he's in jail. There are many more of such cases. Mr. Speaker, I am a practitioner in our court, and I know many situations that people don't know about their own rights, and our security agencies have relied on laws to deny them leader. Their rights.
Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is a senior member of this House, and he knows that he cannot depart from the terms of the report and move into anticipation. Order 1251 is clearly in breach of Order 1251. He can't do that. He's anticipating what will happen tomorrow, what will happen the day after tomorrow. You can't do that. No. The law, there are rules forbid anticipation. You can't be arguing in anticipation in respect of a report, the terms of which are very clear before you. You can't be arguing in a preemptive manner, anticipating that this will happen, and that will happen, and that will also happen. Mr. Speaker, he's a senior member, he's a leader. We learn from him. He's a leader. He should stay within the terms of the report.
Honorable Leader, take note of the observation, and also take note of the fact that Clause 29 to 31 is a repetition of Act 1030.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, to the extent that my colleague suggests to this House that I am going outside of the issue before us, Mr. Speaker, I would like to respond for Hansa to also capture same. Mr. Speaker, I strongly disagree with him. At this stage of the lawmaking process is where all issues and concerns are expressed. The matter I raise has to do with what happens in our court. And I am saying that I have witnessed situations where rights are abused because such citizens who came into contact with the security agencies in one way or the other did not have access to representation. Mr. Speaker, as a result of that, they suffer some injustice. All I'm saying is that if we are enacting, it is important that we bring clarity and safeguard the rights of citizens. We should provide for this so that the security agencies, as part of their own administrative duties, will be guided. Mr. Speaker, until we ensure that citizens were not detained beyond 48 hours, until all of us spoke about it, that this is enshrined in the Constitution, there were times that citizens were detained by security agencies beyond 48 hours. But Mr. Speaker, because the law is clear and unambiguous, such abuses have limited. Even so, such abuses have not stopped. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that the over-concentration of power in the appointment process without Parliament having the opportunity to vet is a matter of serious concern that this House must look at even as we go into the consideration stage. Mr. Speaker, 2, I have also identified a weak accountability mechanism. It is largely dominated by the executive oversight rather than parliamentary oversight. And I've stated that, and I will not repeat it. Mr. Speaker, I also acknowledge the fact that there must be some level of secrecy. I agree, national security issues must not be made public. However, I need to repeat for the record that to the extent that Parliament itself in its wisdom has enacted its regulation that creates a new committee responsible for national security, Mr. Speaker, there must be unfettered disclosure to the extent that members on that committee, Mr. Speaker, have taken oath. Mr. Speaker, looking at this enactment, it appears again that there is some broad, rather loosely framed, intrusive powers and weak warrant regime. Mr. Speaker, I would delve deep into this when we get into the consideration stage. I've already emphasized what happened not too long ago with this warrant for search and all of that. Mr. Speaker, this law does not address it fully. And it appears that, Mr. Speaker, what we are seeking to do is to create a much more intrusive institution. We are allowing a new warrant regime, complicating matters, and this would further affect citizens, especially political witch hunting. Mr. Speaker, we should also be mindful of the politicization of the regional and district security councils. Those regional security coordinators and the district security coordinators, if you go through the enactment, we do not define their essential qualification for appointment. Are they going to be party members who would be given job for the boys, so you are a district security coordinator or regional security coordinator? When they see somebody's cassava in a pickup, they go and chase you. They say, for national security reason, we stopped you. When they see that, there is a car going, somebody has bought his new car, they will chase you and come and say, where did you get money to buy this new car? Mr. Speaker, I say some of these things from experience. Just about a month ago, my own pickup was chased by a so-called regional security coordinator and arrested the driver and said that, he has information from national security. Meanwhile, it was not true. When he realized that the car was mine, he said, sorry. Meanwhile, he had arrested the guy, frustrated him, and I don't want to say he extorted money from him for not having a registered car. Mr. Speaker, if such a person was a professional and by enactment he has gone through the vetting process of appointment and knows what he is supposed to do, Mr. Speaker, he won't do such a thing. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill must also look at it carefully and not just think that because you need to have certain positions filled, anybody at all should be there. Mr. Speaker, I shall conclude by saying that this bill does not reform the security architecture of our country. It rather entrenches it and worsens it. Mr. Speaker, the bill preserves the old problematic architecture without substantive reform, carrying over existing appointment and practices. For these reasons, Mr. Speaker, I believe that though the committee has done a good work at consideration, there will be the need for the minister to sit with us as a house, do further winnowing, and incorporate the major concerns raised by the minority on this floor, so that, Mr. Speaker, in the end, we would have a bill that is citizenry friendly, a bill that ensures transparency, a bill that allows Parliament to scrutinize and properly oversight the work of the security architecture of our country. Mr. Speaker, that said, I shall resume my seat without more. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Right Honourable Speaker, you know, in private practice, the way that you you get to increase your fees is to speak copiously in court. Even if you say nothing, just speak copiously in court. Because after the clients, when they finish, they say,
My lawyer spoke.
the way my lawyer cano. Did you see the way my lawyer was talking? The other lawyers in the courtroom know that he said nothing. And I'm saying this because I have listened to all that my friends on the other side have said, and I cannot hear anything. I cannot hear anything. And the reason why I say I cannot hear anything is simple. We all know that under the NPP, in 2020, you brought a bill to this house, ostensibly to revise the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act, the existing law then. Mr. Speaker, in the process, you enacted an office, which is the office of the Minister for National Security. And you enacted the office and therefore impliedly made it a permanent existence. Mr. Speaker, even the Constitution shies away from enacting ministerial portfolios. Apart from the Attorney General, no minister is enacted by legislation. Ministries are created by executive instruments, and then that necessitates the appointment of a minister to be responsible for that ministry. Mr. Speaker, by enacting the office of a Minister of National Security, you are tying the hands of every president so that he must appoint a Minister for National Security. Mr. Speaker, in the process, you had unwieldy size of government. How many ministers did they have? 125 ministers.
Look at the bill.
125 ministers and deputy ministers. For a small country like this, when a country like Australia with a bigger economy has just about 30 ministers. Mr. Speaker, the NDC promised that when we come to office, we will downsize. We will cut down the number of ministers. So when we came into office, we indeed cut down the number of ministers.
The decision to amend this.
And among the ministries that we decided to guillotine was the Minister for National Security. And then the issue arose in this chamber. The Right Honorable Speaker, Alban Sumana Bagwin, raised it in this chamber that there is a legal problem. There is an act that enacts the office of National Security Minister. So we cannot appoint ministers and there will be no Minister for National Security. So the fundamental thing about this bill is to revise the existing legislation and take out the imposition of a Minister for National Security.
On the president.
That is the fundamental objective of this bill. Take the bill and go through it properly, and you will see that all that the bill is seeking to do is to abolish the office of Minister for National Security and the functions assigned to the Minister for National Security and the establishment of the Inter-Ministerial Council for National Security. Because all these three main items, they're not. Mr. Speaker, so that's the idea that we are pursuing, which is taking out the office of Minister for National Security. Mr. Speaker, if we do that, we will essentially be reverting to the legislation that existed before Act 1030 was enacted. That is the fundamental objective. Of course, in the process, advantage has been taken of the proposal before this House to also add a few things, revise a few things, based on the experience that we have obtained working these two legislations. So, Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that the impression is created that there's something wrong being done, and then we don't know what we're about, and the bill is inadequate, and there's nothing wrong. There's everything wrong with enacting an Office of National Security Minister. We have a Minister for Health. It is not enacted. We have a Minister for Education. It is not enacted. We have a Minister for Roads and Transport. It is not enacted. Those ministers are not enacted. It's the ministries that are enacted. And it is the agencies under the ministry that are enacted. So you have highways, you have urban roads, you have all these agencies, Ghana Health Service, you have Ghana Education Service, you have all of them agencies under the ministries enacted. But the ministry itself is simply created by an executive instrument because presidents can decide to realign and change it. They don't need to come to Parliament to realign. But what you did here is to force the hand of a president so that he must appoint a Minister for National Security. It was a wrong thing for us to have done as a Parliament.
But they did it.
Well, we're all in the Parliament. They proposed it, but we're here and we voted. So I'm saying that it was a wrong thing for us to have done. And this historical wrong has to be corrected. And that's what we're doing today. We are correcting the wrongs of the NPP government. We are cutting down the number of ministers. We don't believe in large-sized governments. Large-sized government wastes public money. The taxpayer must get value for money. That is the object of this bill. Nothing more. Mr. Speaker, the issue of Director General of Intelligence, as indicated by Honorable Kabiru, I tried very much to understand where he was coming from and where he was going. But I know that all the acts, all that the bill seeks to do is to just redesignate it as Director General for Internal Security and Director General for External Security. And Internal Security is the BNI, and then the External Security is Research Department, and they already have directors. They have directors. If you just redesignate the titles to fit what modern nomenclature is, I don't see anything fundamental about that. Why we should be splitting hairs about just redesignating titles of offices that already exist. We are not creating the offices. Mr. Speaker, when you go to the issue of coordinator, yes, coordinators have existed from the beginning as a matter of practice. Then when the first legislation was being passed to govern national security, it was enacted. All subsequent legislation have kept the director, the coordinator of national security, functions basically the same. Now, you cannot say that we are creating a coordinator who is politically unaccountable. That is obviously not true. We know the normal accountability mechanisms under our Constitution. First and foremost, we can hold the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act through the process of budgeting for them. Their budget is approved by this House. They bring the budget document proposals here, we approve it. Every money they spend, we approve it. And the committee can always invite the minister responsible for national security to come and answer questions. And the honorable minister kept repeating that. He's been coming here to answer questions. Beyond that, he's been appearing before the Committee of Parliament to provide briefings on security matters anytime that he has been invited. Nothing is going to be sacrificed when it comes to political accountability of the security and intelligence agencies. So I don't know where the argument is coming from. that we are about to compromise the human rights of citizens, that they will no longer be politically accountable. Under what arrangement? Because the existing arrangement clearly in the last 1 year and 2 months have worked in such a way that no political accountability has been compromised. So I think that that argument also falls flat on its face. The argument about the warrants and freezing powers and etc., they've always existed. In your own legislation which we passed in this House, Act 1030, there were the same provisions. Nothing really fundamental, except a proposal that sometimes by the time you go and apply for a warrant to freeze an account, it takes a second to move the money from that account. It takes seconds to move the money from that account. It just takes the click of a button. Because everything is electronic. Somebody can actually just use his or her cell phone and transfer and wire all his or her money. That's where banking has reached now. So when a security intelligence agency is interrogating a suspect and begins to suspect that they have monies in an account, by the time they go to the court and apply for a warrant and apply for a freezing authority, the account is drained. Money is transferred. And so there is a suggestion that at a certain level in the leadership of the intelligence agencies, they should be able to authorize such actions and then within a week go to court for court to confirm it or to set it aside.
In the OSP Act, the same provisions in the OSP.
We have the same thing in the Office of Special Prosecutors Act. So why grant the Office of Special Prosecutor those powers and deny the other intelligence agencies who are also doing investigation to enable prosecution, deny them the same powers? So there's no real threat or danger. As for chasing pickups and etc., we didn't start chasing pickups today.
Yes.
I know colleagues on this side who are ministers of state who were stopped in public and their cars seized from them.
Yes.
It happened.
Under his leadership.
I'm not saying that it is right. I'm not saying that it should be allowed to happen or that it should continue. But my argument is simple. How does that bear on the provisions of this bill? There's no bearing. If you want to complain about your pickup being seized, please complain. But don't use this, second reading as an opportunity to complain about your pickup that was stopped. Why didn't you report to the police? Why are you reporting to us in Parliament? Mr. Speaker, let me thank colleagues for a very spirited debate, but just to indicate that we bring this bill out of necessity. We want to remove all the provisions compelling the establishment of the Office of the Minister for National Security and then maintain what has always existed, which is the President to designate a minister to serve as the minister to exercise oversight over the security and intelligence agencies, and then through that person, this Parliament can hold that whole sector accountable. Mr. Speaker, I think that this is commendable. The report effectively captures the issues. They've considered many things that have been debated. The issue of members of Parliament being on district and municipal security committees were considered. I'm a member of the committee, the minority leader is a member of the committee, and very strong arguments were made why we should not have members of Parliament sitting in the district and municipal security council. People have different views about that, but I think that as a committee, from what I see in the report, the conclusion is not to encourage a thing like that. Mr. Speaker, on that note, I want to thank the Minister for moving the motion and the Chairperson for seconding and presenting the report, and urge members to vote adopting this report. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.